Judging our Oxford show today is Tim Fleener. Tim, along with his wife Sarah, reside at Robisonia, Pennsylvania, where they operate Fleener Livestock. He is the senior pastor at Akron Church of the Brethren, where he shepherds two-legged sheep during the day, and at night, along with Sarah, they shepherd a flock of weather-type Hampshires and Shropshires, along with show cattle that consist mainly of main and maintainers. The entire family is involved in Hampshire sheep, including their two sons and their families. Kyle, Jen, and Hudson Fleener operate Fleener Club Lambs, and Kurt, Miranda, Noah, and Kinley Fleener operate 920 Sheep Company. Tim has judged various local, regional, state, and national shows and sales. They enjoy meeting up with old friends and meeting new sheep enthusiasts wherever they go. One fun fact is that he and Sarah met in Louisville, Kentucky at the North American, and they just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. Let's welcome Tim Fleener to your Oxford show here at the Big E. We're now showing senior ram lambs. Your next class will be junior ram lambs.
Here in this first class of Oxford ram lambs, two bucks out here, and one's going to be a senior buck, and then the one comes in as a January, but they're shown the same class. Very similar in their body style. Really like the extension that both of these bucks have. Extremely good down through their spine. The buck that was going to start off the class with is a little more natural in his overall foundation. When you watch this buck move, he's not quite as restricted up through that shoulder area as we see in the buck right below him. A buck that's extremely, when natural stance comes down and is wide enough in through his base. For me, for a September born sheep, I'd like to maybe explode him out a little bit more as far as his rib shape, giving a little more body into him. But I think for today, as far as soundness is concerned, we need to keep him in first. This January buck is really intriguing when you're looking at him off the side. Boy, you sure like him. He's really pretty. Really appreciate that about him. He's a little bit bigger as far as his foot size and actually his bone from a January to September. I will give him that. But when I watch him, just kind of a natural, I like to change the way he comes out of his shoulder down into his knee and his front. He wants to get a little more bolder in that particular area, so I like to change him a little bit there in order maybe to get him around that earlier buck today. But two really good Oxford buck lambs.
Now ready for junior ram lambs in the ring, placing on the class of senior ram lambs. First place in open and in junior goes to entry number 3775, Misty Meadows 1252, Patriot. Austin Grace, Misty Meadows, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That ram weighed 237 pounds. Second place and second in the junior show to 3774. Reed Family Oxfords, 2107. Austin Grace, Misty Meadows of Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That ram weighed 198. Again, now showing junior ram lambs. The Oxford breed originated in England from crossing of the Hampshire and Cotswold. Oxfords were first imported into the United States in 1846. Oxfords are used primarily as a terminal sire breed in the farm flock states. Here's the first Oxford trivia question. At the 2011 Big E, that'd be 10 years ago, during the Oxford show, who won the Premier Exhibitor and Premier Breeder honors? And the answer is Austin Grace.
In this Oxford class, we got some bucks down here that definitely can go out and change the breed just a little bit. I think we've got one especially can do that. He's not the largest frame sheep out here, but you sure have to appreciate him for his look off to the side. I mean, you get back away from him and just taking a real hard look at him and the way he presents himself as far as the ground and moving right up. Really good on those feet, comes up with some authority up through his front end. He keeps his shoulder tucked into him very nicely. The neck extends out the top of the shoulder where it needs to be. And again, he's in short fleece. And so you don't have to really think too much about what's being covered up because you can see exactly what he is. He's extremely straight down his spine, level out through his hip, wide out through his hip, and he comes together himself as natural as any of the bucks out here. And he's going to continue on and grow into a yearling buck that's going to keep himself together and be able to show extremely well. He has stud buck written all over him. The ram in second, I think, most closely follows a type and kind. A ram that when you put your hands on him, he's very similar to that first place buck. He gets up on those feet and legs. I like him a lot in that particular area. Maybe not quite as extended maybe as our third place ram, but he sure comes back and he's rib cage and he's wider in through his rib cage, in through his loin, and than we see in the buck right below. The ram in third is that picture pretty sheep that's off to the side. When you get one that's this elevated, you get one this long, I just need to blow him out. For me, he's pretty green. When you get your hands on him, he's extremely long from that last rib back, especially out through his hip. He's level out through his hip. For me, I just need to blow him apart a little bit more. Really nice off the side. Fourth place buck, kind of that same pattern as far as being a little more extended. We start to get into a little more tubular appearance. When we're looking at him, he's not quite as deep in through his chest floor. He's not quite as deep in through his flank. And for me, that's probably where I would change him on right today. And then when you look at him and really analyze him, you just need to have a little more gas into him as far as rib shape and dimension. Nice sheep. Functional sheep. Today we're going to see him in fourth. The fifth place buck is a very complete kind of a sheep. For me, he doesn't come out of that neck area and into his shoulder quite as well as the ones right above him. I like to just bring him up, just elevate him a little bit more in that area and give him a little bit more length. But he's got a lot of good pieces into him, but we're just going to keep him in fifth. Then to round off the class with a really long body type of sheep here next. Gets a little coarser in the center portion of his chest, and then we get back behind him. We need to have more muscle shape in through there. Nice class of bucks.
Next class is pair of ram lambs, pair ram lambs. Results of the junior ram lamb class for the Oxfords. First place goes to entry 4361. Edwards Oxfords of Rockbridge, Illinois, on Edwards Phantom Hill Fitting and Training 2104. That ram weighs 173. Second place, first in the junior show, to entry 972. LA Farm R2101 Tank. Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. That ram weighed 175. Third to 971, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. That ram weighed 191. Fourth place, third in the junior to 3776, Austin Grace, Misty Meadows, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Fourth in the junior to entry 3907, Hannah Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. And fifth in the junior to 3860, Emma Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. Placing on the pair of ram lambs, first place in the pair of ram lambs goes to Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Second to Austin Grace, Misty Meadows, Oxfords of Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Also in our show, our junior champion and reserve junior champion were also those junior ram lambs, first and second. Now showing for Open Show Grand Champion Ram and Reserve.
Small Oxford ram show, but really a good one, especially on the top end. Really like the pattern that we have on all four of these bucks. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. I'll go out and shake the hands of the champion reserve.
Austin, don't take off, Austin. Open Show Grand Champion Ram goes to 4361, which came out of the Junior Ram Lamb class, our junior champion, Edwards, Phantom Hill Fitting and Training, 2104, Edwards, Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. Our Open Show Reserve Grand Champion and also our Junior Show Champion was 972. Our Open Junior Show Junior Reserve Champion Ram came out of the Junior Ram Lamb class, LA Farm R2101 Tank, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. We now need to show for Junior Show Reserve Champion Ram. Actually, we need the other one that you've got, Logan, to come in to show for reserve. Junior Show Reserve Champion Ram goes to entry 971. That was the second place in the Junior Show in the Junior Ram Lamb class, LA Farm S2105 Sky, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Now ready to move into yearling ewes. Fitted yearling ewes is your next class. As our yearling ewes are coming in, we want to remind those 19 viewers that we have online that the chat box is open. You'll be able to also participate in the trivia. So we're waiting to get this class in, and we'll ask the second trivia question. So here's the second Oxford trivia question. Who exhibited the grand champion Oxford ewe, who was also the best-headed Oxford ewe at the 2011 Big E? We, here's the first clue. That exhibitor will be a mom real soon. And the answer is Claire Burnett Hicks.
good yearling ewe here to start off the class with. Very fresh in her appearance, very fresh into her handle. I really appreciate that about her. Really, when you start to watch these females start to walk around the ring, she's the most athletic on the move. She gets around and she puts those feet down where she needs to have them. Then you get back off the side and you take a look at the way this particular female is made. Very elegant up through that first third as you look at her shoulder structure into her neck and out through her head. And then you look at her again, rear flank is down where it needs to have it. But yes, she still looks like that show ewe, but she's developing into a stud ewe. Really good in through her spine and out through her hip. Again, very short fleece, which keeps her in that very youthful appearance. The ewe in second's extremely attractive as you're analyzing her off the side. She gets a little bit deeper in through her chest cavity than she does into her flank. That's one area I'd like to change her. But with that being said, again, she follows in with the same kind as the one right above her. Extremely level top, square hip. The folks have done an extremely good job getting this ewe fitted and ready to go. She needs to stay in second. The ewe in third, again, when we look at her, she's a lot more youthful in her appearance. She's more ideal in her conditioning. As we look at them right here today, I'd like to stouten her up in her foot and her bone, change her head just a little bit. But when we look at body type and body style, she has the right dimensions from top to bottom, all the way from her rib back into her flank, and I think that's what she excels over the ewe that's in second. Or in fourth, the ewe in fourth, I do like her foot, I do like her bone, a little better headed. She gets deeper in through her chest cavity than she does in through her flank. She shortens up from end to end, and for me, a little more condition on her than she needs to have. But she's really good in out through her hip, and so I appreciate that about her. The next ewe in line is kind of probably, when you look at her as far as profile, very similar to the top three. For me, she gets a little untrue back there on those back legs. That's one of set them quite as square as she needs to have them. And for me, she needs to be a little sounder. Nice class of yearling ewes.
Next class is Slickshorn yearling ewes. Slickshorn yearling ewes. Placing on the fitted yearling ewe class, first place goes to entry 4359, AA 2035. Edwards, Oxford's Rockbridge, Illinois. That animal weighed 260 pounds. Second in the open, first in the junior show, goes to entry 973, LA Farm, M 2001 Miracle. Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine, and that ewe weighed 271. Third place, second in the junior show, to entry 3778, Misty Meadows, 1246. Austin Grace, Misty Meadows, Oxford's, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That ewe weighed 228. Fourth, third in the junior show, to entry 974, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. 5, 4 in the junior show to 377. Austin Grace, Misty Meadows Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. 6th place, 5th in the junior show to 3859. Emma Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. 6th in the junior show to 3908. Hannah Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire.
Class of slicked yearling ewes here in the Oxford breed. 2 nice yearling ewes to evaluate. The class winner is going to be the little smaller frame female. But with that being said, big foot, big bone, ewe that has a lot of natural width and dimension to her, still staying feminine enough. Really like this female at her top, and especially out through her hip. A lot of natural muscling coming down through that lower and center portion of that leg. The ewe in second, really good on the move. I appreciate that about her. What I like to change about her is when I get back behind her, make her wider in her base, wider in her hip, give her more natural muscling into that area. But a really nice pair of yearling ewes.
Now ready for pair of yearling ewes. Placing on the class of slick shorn yearling ewes, first place goes to entry 4360. Edwards, Phantom Hill Fitting Training 2002. Edwards, Oxford's Rockbridge, Illinois. The ewe weighed 215. Second, first in the junior show to entry 977. D Hall 204. Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. That ewe weighed 253. Next class is Senior Ewe Lambs, placing on the pair of yearling ewes. First place goes to Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Second place, Edwards Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. And third to Austin Grace, Misty Meadows Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Again, we're ready for Senior Ewe Lambs, Oxford Senior Ewe Lambs, to the ring, please. Following the Oxford Senior Ewe Lamb class, we will have the Open Show Senior Champion ewe class.
Here in the senior ewe lamb class. Got four really nice ones to take a look at. They kind of, once you start to analyze them and get through a couple different areas, they kind of sort themselves, I think, for me, fairly easily. The attractive one is going to be here that's going to stand in first, really up on her toes. And when you watch her walk, she's the naturals width in movement in those rear legs, and when she stops, she puts them down where she needs to have them. Just really attractive, youthful appearance when you're analyzing her in the first 1/3. Again, short fleece. She's really good down her top and out through her hip. With enough natural muscling to go with her. The second place ewe lamb I really like off the side. When you look at her, good footed, good bone. I like her breed character a good bit. For me, when you get up on top of her, she wants to just ever so slightly kind of round in that shoulder. She doesn't come together quite as well and kind of neat in the center portion of her chest. But a ewe lamb is extremely good out through her top and out through her hip, and for me kind of fell in that second hole very nicely. The ewe lamb in third is the big-bodied sheep that we see out here. I appreciate that about her. Really nice when you're analyzing her as far as her broodiness up through her front end. But then I get back behind her, and she kind of disappoints me a little bit. I like to change her on those back legs, widen her out as far as her base is concerned, in order for me to be able to move her higher today. Then to round off a really nice, complete kind of a sheep here to be in fourth. A little plainer in her bone work, a little plainer in her pattern. For me, I'd just like to widthen her out at her base. And stouten her up in order to be able to think about moving her up. But four very useful ewe lambs to evaluate.
Next class is the selection of our senior champion and reserve senior champion U for the open show. Placing on the class of Oxford Senior Ewe Lambs, first place goes to entry number 4362, Edwards Phantom Hill, fitting and training 2018, Edwards Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. Second, first in the junior show to entry 3781, Shrout 2122, Austin Grace, Misty Meadows Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 196. Third place to entry 3780, Austin Grace, Misty Meadows Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. And that was also second in the junior show, and that ewe weighs 244. And fourth place to entry number 1767, Elijah Mayacher of Lee, New Hampshire.
Out here for our senior champion, we get our 6 individuals out here, and we can look at what we can see in each one of these age divisions. We have the slicks here in the middle of the yearling U class. Really happy to see the kind of sheep that we brought out here. Extremely nice set all the way through in this senior division. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. I'll go out and select your champion reserve of the senior division.
The open show senior champion U goes to entry number 4359 out of the yearling U class, AA 2035, Edwards Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. The open show reserve senior champion U goes to our second place fitted yearling U, 973, LA Farm M2001 Miracle, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Now ready for intermediate ewe lambs.
only three ewe lambs out here, but I like all three for different reasons. The ewe lamb here we're going to start off with is just the big-bodied sheep, and I really appreciate that. She is ultra cool when you're analyzing her up through her front third. She's extremely pretty headed. She blends that neck right in the top of the shoulder. She's got a big old rib in her, a big, when you get back into her loin, she keeps getting wider and then it get out through her hip. She excels the rest of the group in her top shape and her dimension out through that hip, and then you get on the side, and she doesn't disappoint you whatsoever. The ewe lamb in second, I really like for her youthfulness about her. She is extremely pretty off to the side. When you get back behind her, she just doesn't have as much width of hip into her, which doesn't give her quite as much width of base. She is good when you're analyzing her as far as the way she moves off those back legs, but really tough ewe lamb to get around right in front of her. But this is an awfully nice ewe lamb. Ewe lamb in third, again, another nice ewe lamb, big-footed, big bone, straight topped. I really appreciate that out about her. I'd push her harder in the feed pan, get more weight on her. I think if she had another 25 pounds on her, that would change her a great deal. But you've got a ewe lamb that's going to continue on and grow, and she's got the right look. She's got the right straightness to her. She's also good on the move. I just push her a little harder at the feed pan. But three nice ewe lambs to evaluate. Thank you.
After we weigh those, our next class will be junior ewe lambs. Junior ewe lambs will be your next class. Placing on the intermediate ewe lamb class for the Oxford show, first place goes to entry 975 LA Farm W2105 Logan Averill of Litchfield, Maine, ewe weighing 187. Second place to entry 3782 Misty Meadows 1258 Austin Grace, Misty Meadows Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That ewe weighed 172. And third place to 3861 Emma Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire, ewe weighing 142. Now showing junior ewe lambs. Junior ewe lambs are currently in the ring. Final trivia question. What Oxford breeder won the Best Overall Pin Display and Best Program Award at the 2011 Big E for week number 1? First hint, that exhibitor is from New Hampshire, but not at the show this year. And the answer is Ted Sartell and family of New Hampshire.
Here in this class of Oxford ewe lambs, the class winner surfaces rather easily for me when we start to look at these sheep, especially from the ground all the way up. Really good footage. She's good bone. She places them down about as wide as anything else that's out here in the class. Then you get up on top of her. She's the big top. She's the ewe that has the width and dimension and through her rib and out through her loin, out through her hip. Just a very logical sheep to start with. The ewe in seconds, longer spines, a little more extreme in her pattern. With that being said, she's the next truest one off of her base. She's another white base sheep. I just like to just explode her out just a little bit more. And I think the reason why she necessarily doesn't have that because she's also longer bodied. And so when you start to get that extra length into them, they don't always have as much width into them until they become as yearlings. But here's a really pretty female when you get her off the side. Just need it with that extra zip into her. I'd sure like just to blow her out in through her rack a little bit more. The ewe lamb in third is real extreme. Also, for me, we do need to get her broadened out in through her rack and out through her hip. of the top three, she is the narrowest in her base, and I'd like to change her off those back legs just a little bit. Getting here in the ewe lamb here in fourth, kind of following with the same kind of body type. I really like her off the side. She's deep into those flanks. I really appreciate she is wider in her base structure and heavy in her bone work than the ewe lamb right below her. Nice class of ewe lambs.
Results of our junior ewe lamb class. First place in the open and in the junior goes to 39.66. Misty Meadows, 12.64. Taylor Burton, Cobleskill, New York, ewe weighing 182. Second in the junior to entry 37.84. Misty Meadow, 1263. Austin Grace, Misty Meadow, Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Third, and that ewe weighs 166. Third place to entry 3783, and that's also third in the junior show, to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow, Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire, and that ewe weighs 162. Fourth in the junior show to 3910, Hannah Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. Fifth in the junior show to 3911, Hannah Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire. Now showing Slick Shorn Junior ewe lambs.
Just a single entry here for the Slick Oxford ewe lambs. Nice ewe lamb to represent the breed. Again, she's really wide in her base structure, has a lot of dimension in through her spine and out through her hip. Comes together extremely well in the move. Congratulations.
Next class is pair ewe lambs. Placing on the Slick Shorn Oxford Junior ewe lamb class, first place to 4363, Edwards, Phantom Hill Fitting and Training, 2103, Edwards, Oxford's Rockbridge, Illinois, and that ewe weighs 146. We're now ready to show Open Show Junior Champion ewe and Reserve Junior Champion ewe. Placing on the pair of ewe lambs, first place goes to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow, Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Second place to Edwards, Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. And third place to Hannah Cargill, New Ipswich, New Hampshire.
The Junior Oxford Youth Show has been extremely deep all the way through, and really when we get out our class winners and the second ones behind it, it shows you just how strong that class is by looking at what we have out in front of us. Really a good set. Let's put our hands together to the exhibitors and give them a round of applause. We'll go out and select your champion reserve.
Open Show Junior Champion U goes to 39.66 out of the Junior U Lamb class. Misty Meadow 12.64. Taylor Burton, Cobleskill, New York. Reserve Junior Champion goes to 9.75. First place animal out of the Intermediate U Lamb class. LA Farm W 2105, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Now ready to show Open Show Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion U.
In this Oxford female show. Probably, maybe there might be another breed I've done that's been this competitive all the way through, but this female show has been really, really nice. I've had good females that's got some body shape and got some depth of body into them. They got some width of base and they got some width of top to go along with it, and that can move around fairly easily. And stayed within the breed character as well as anything. Super set. I'm not going to talk anything more about them. I talked about enough of them in the classes. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. I'll go out and select your champion reserve ewes.
We still have to show for Reserve Champion Junior Show U. Our Grand Champion U was our Senior Champion U out of the fitted yearling U class. Which is 43.59. Double A 2035, Edwards Oxford's Rockbridge, Illinois. And our reserve champion went to our reserve senior champion, 973, which was second in that yearling U fitted class, LA Farm M2001 Miracle, Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. And that animal would also be our junior show champion. Our junior show reserve champion U goes to our class winner from the junior U lamb class, 3966. Misty Meadow, 1264. Taylor Burton, Cobleskill, New York. We are now ready for exhibitors flock. Placing on the exhibitors flock, first place goes to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. Second place to Edwards Oxfords of Rockbridge, Illinois. We're now ready for Breeders' Flock. Breeders' Flock is the next one. First place in the Breeders' Flock goes to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. We're now ready for Get of Sire. Get of Sire, please. Placing on the Get of Sire, first place goes to Logan Averill, Litchfield, Maine. Second place to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. And third to Edwards Oxfords, Rockbridge, Illinois. And at this time, we need Austin Grace to come here to the announcer's desk in the show ring, if you would, please. And the winner of the Premier Exhibitor Award as well as the Premier Breeder Award for the Oxford Show goes to Austin Grace, Misty Meadow Oxfords, Westmoreland, New Hampshire. That does conclude our Oxford Show. We will be back here at 4 o'clock for our Supreme Champion class. Our judge for the Oxfords today has been Tim Fleener of Pennsylvania.